Okay, well, we'll go ahead and get started. Welcome, first of all, to our live demo today. We're going to show you how to set up your preventive maintenance program inside of Limble. On the call today, we've got Skylar Rogers, and Skylar is the manager of solutions engineering here at Limble. He's been here for 2 years, started with the customer success team, and now has moved into his current role. And Skylar loves helping customers create streamlined processes to calm the chaos that sometimes is found in maintenance and build more efficient maintenance operations and teams. So today, Skylar's going to show you how to create preventive maintenance templates and complete PMs in Limble. He's going to show you how to assign, schedule, and prioritize PMs for your team. And then he's also going to show you how to track the PM completion rates and core metrics with automated reports. So with that, we'll go ahead and get started. And then once Skylar's done with the demo, we'll open it up for some Q&A and you'll have a chance to ask him some questions. So Skylar, I'll stop sharing and you can go ahead and share your screen and we'll go from there.
Perfect, thanks. All right, everyone. So you should be seeing my screen now with my mouse move. Can you see that, Katie?
Looks good.
Awesome. So we've got our desktop on the left and on the right, the mobile application. I'll start with the desktop, but we'll go through completion on the mobile app. So just we get a look and feel for both, right? To start out, I want to start in my location here and go into my assets, right? And so everyone knows our assets are in a parent-child structure hierarchy. And so I have my building here. Within my building, I have, let's say, like an HVAC system. And then within the HVAC system, I have my rooftop unit, right? So we'll go ahead and pull up the rooftop unit here. I have some general information for those who've never seen this, the make, the model, and even a place to upload, let's say, like a repair manual, right? We'll go ahead and go into the PM portion of this. And this is where I can actually create a plan maintenance template. So we'll go ahead and create another monthly plan maintenance for this rooftop unit. I can do that by simply clicking new PM template. I'm going to call this one my monthly, for instance. And then there's essentially just 3 steps to set this up. The first step is going to be who it's assigned to. Now I can assign this to either an individual user or a team. As you can see, I have several teams within Limble set up. So we'll go ahead and assign this to my technician team. The next step is just setting the schedules here. Now, in Limble, we can set the schedules through time, as you can see, daily, monthly, yearly, or I can even do number of units. So those of you who have, let's say, fleet that need to do it by miles, or maybe you have a compressor that you need to do every 500 hours type of thing, right? So we'll go ahead and set the monthly up, and I'll do that on the day of the month, first Monday of every month, right? So now the last piece is actually developing the SOPs. What do we actually do inside of this planned or scheduled maintenance piece? So I'll go ahead and click on my monthly. And here's where I can build this task out. Now at the very top, I have monthly. If I wanted to put more of a description like, hey, this is to service this rooftop unit, any additional information that may need to describe that, I can insert that there. It's going to also show that this belongs to the rooftop unit. Now, those of you who want to use Limble for parts management as well, this is where we can actually allocate parts for this plan maintenance also. So if I want to kit this out essentially and say, hey, this bearing and this filter, every time this PM kicks out, I want my team to understand and know what parts they need before that task starts. So I can pre-kit out my plan maintenance. If we have any tools that we want to associate that, drills, power tools, things like that, I can also allocate tools to a PM as well. The next piece will be building out the actual instruction sets. So to do that, we just click add instruction. And as you can see, we have very basic instructions all the way to really dynamic conditional formatting. So I will add a few of these as an example. We'll start with a simple checkbox here. And maybe I have an instruction for, let's say, checking the power supply, right, as my instruction 1. So I can go here and insert that instruction for checking the power supply. Maybe number 2. Then number 2, I can make a copy, go down the list as needed, right? Measure voltage amps of fans, and really do again, any real instructions that you need here, I can put it. So we'll just throw a few examples. That way, when we go through and complete this on the mobile app, we have some things to check off. Examples here. And then I do want to add one that's maybe a little, has additional steps to it too. So let's go ahead and create a drop-down list for that conditional formatting question. A best practice I've noticed in the industry, and what a lot of our customers also do, is maybe inspect this for anything reactive that needs to be done, right? So at the end of the day, if we are on this rooftop unit performing this planned maintenance, we see a leak, we see something broke, how do we document that in the most streamlined way possible? This dropdown is a great option for that you can actually create. So I basically just ask a question at the end of my planned maintenance. Does a work order need to be made for anything, right? And this makes it very easy for the end user, of course. I'm going to ask yes or no. And then the condition is, if yes, I can actually have that start a work order directly in the planned maintenance. Benefit to doing that inside of Limble is now my work order, once started, is linked to the planned maintenance, and I have access to all that information. And I've also created a situation where my technicians have way less buttons to click on, and it's just streamlined the process. So again, that's an example of a general build out. You can also have task reassignment. If you have, let's say, like a quality team that needs to sign off, you can really develop and build any SOPs within this task that you need. So we'll go ahead and close out this piece after that monthly is built. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually start this to Max, who is my technician. And the technician would be out on the floor, let's say in this case, with a mobile device, right? Whether it be a tablet, a smartphone, you can download the app through Apple, Android. So at that point, Max would get a notification that there is a task assigned, and you can open up the My Task button, and then that task would be in the My Task button. I think I'm a little quick for that, but here's that notification. You can see popped up on top for the My Task notifications, and you can see that it's the monthly in the building one in the HVAC. Part of an advantage also of having that hierarchy by location, right? So we're going to go ahead and open up this planned maintenance so we can see an example of what it looks like in Limble in our mobile app. We can see at the very top, it does designate whether it's a planned maintenance or it could be a reactive maintenance as well. And then I can see it's a low priority, right? So when we create the planned maintenance, we can also prioritize them. If this was something critical that, like, if we don't do this, this machine's going to fail, I can mark this as a high priority. That way, when it hits my list, it goes to the very top of the list. I'm hyperlinked on all of my assets up here as well. Limble makes it very easy to access that information. For instance, if I need any information on my rooftop unit, especially if I'm actually on my roof, I could pull up any documentation or information from there. The tasks are also going to always start and open. And then as soon as I click on anything in the task, it will automatically kick it into progress, timestamp, and date that. So we have some accountability as well. How long are they taking to get to the task? How long is the task taking to complete? All of those metrics we're going to help track for you. The two parts that we added earlier in the template are right here. Now for parts, I've also added a location. You can see, hey, my air filter's on shelf 4, bin 1. Go over and grab all my parts for this planned maintenance. And then as you can see, the actual instructions themselves are very easy and straightforward, right? To add some extra functionality, if anyone was wondering, if check power or measure volt and amps, if I wanted to also have illustrations or pictures on each one of these, I certainly could. Maybe you guys have lockout, tag out procedures in like a PDF or something that they want to view. If you don't want to build it directly in Limble, we also can definitely insert that in here as well for you. Here's an example of our conditional formatting. Again, does a work order need to be made? All they have to do is answer the question. Let's say yes. I would have a simple work order started, already assigned to the correct asset because it goes off what the PM was assigned to as well. For example's sake, we'll go ahead and say no, everything looks good. You can see in my comment section, here is where all of my time and date stamps happen. And then I can add, of course, additional comments, pictures, anything that I see that I need to notate on this task, right? For those of you that are in a team environment as well, if you do the @ sign, just like on the emails that you have, right? You can direct message your team and it will actually send that message with a link to the task. So as far as communication goes, everything's streamlined. Everybody knows where people are and what they've done on that task. Team environment's very helpful. Then at the bottom, you can see as we've been completing the task, it is tracking my task time. Great for knowing those big questions, right? Do we have enough labor? What is our labor cost going towards our asset? How efficient are we being on our tasks? We're going to track that automatically. So we'll go ahead and complete this task and show you it's already logged my 3 minutes. And then again, those of you that are interested in our parts management as well as the PMs, when I complete this task, it will actually deduct those automatically out of my inventory as well. So we'll go ahead and complete the task. And that is basically all we would need to do for the walkthrough on the task completion. So now if I go back to my home screen, my task is cleared out, my notifications are gone, and now I'm good to go to continue my day. So that would be the basic function of creating the PM, the dynamics of the instructions, and of course, a quick flow walkthrough on the mobile application. So the next piece would be, okay, how do we track and manage the reporting, the scheduling piece of these planned maintenance, right? Now, at first glance, we have a little bit of information on the asset tab itself. I can see where my open PMs are, my completed PMs, and the templates I have on this actual asset. I'm actually going to go ahead and close this page out and show you the PM, the planned maintenance tab in Limble. This is where I can have all my planned maintenance, where it's assigned to my assets and my schedules. There is a calendar view as well. Green are going to be the ones that are launched, blue are upcoming tasks, and I can adjust what type of information, like if I want to say, hey, show me also the asset that those are tied to. This is great for projecting, your labor in the future, right? If I've got 20 PMs on Wednesday and also we have a bunch of tasks, I can actually move them and reassign in one instance. So that doesn't change the entire template or schedule, it just moves it from the one instance. Now, to get a more in-depth view of my planned maintenance, Limble also has really customizable reports. So if we go into our custom dashboards, this is where you can go generate report views on really any given thing that you need inside of Limble. I have an example of a report view of planned maintenance here. And in my schedule, you can see, show me my open planned maintenance. If I wanted to actually get detailed information, I can expand this and it's going to show me everything that's open. Also aggregating it or extracting this data, super easy. I can click on this button and it will export it to Excel, or I can even bulk print these to a PDF, send them off. Great for audits, right? If we all have audits, they want to see, hey, where's all your scheduled maintenance? I can pull up this completed scheduled maintenance, throw it in a PDF. I can even filter this by asset type, and this will make life a lot easier for those situations. But some other examples are past due. How much time have we spent on our planned maintenance? What does our weekly upcoming schedule look like? Again, even on the report side, I can move the schedule around. Individuals on how they're performing. Where am I at versus my assigned versus completed percentage? So you even have some KPIs. And of course, again, I can expand and really drill into this information. And then I have a graph on some trends, right? So we have all the reporting that you're going to need based off your use cases. We can also help customize any other reports for the planned maintenance, if that's of interest. Very flexible on the workflows inside of the planned maintenance templates as well. And again, we take the time to really understand what you need, and working with our internal team, exactly where I came from, our customer success managers are rock stars and will really help dial this in for y'all. But that's really all I had. Again, the short of it, the structure of it, the completion, and the reporting piece of it.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Skylar. Folks, go ahead and if you've got any questions, go ahead and toss them into that little Q&A box you'll see on your screen, and we'll go through those. But a question that I'm fairly certain that will come up, Skylar, that we can start with is, in maintenance org where you have many assets and we're working on building a preventive maintenance program, where do you start, right? So we've got a good idea of what it looks like to build out one for one asset, right? And one particular need. Where do we start when we're looking at the bigger picture?
Yeah, the bigger picture, when working with Limble, the first thing that we're always going to start with is, of course, understanding your use case, what you need. After that, we usually are going to start with the assets. That's generally the hub of a CMMS. That's going to be the organization of the assets is critical. So working with your customer success manager and our team at Limble, we're really going to help formulate the best organization of those assets. We actually have the ability to upload them in bulk as well. So really that formatting and that quick putting the rubber to the road, if you will, for that. After the assets are formulated, generally we will move on to that planned maintenance and parts section, help get those parts uploaded, and really work with you. A lot of times our customers are experiencing a lot of this functionality for the first time. So there's going to be some best practices that they're going to lean on for us. We definitely help them out as far as really tightening their processes and what Limble can do for them. So it's a little bit of an iterative approach, I guess I would say, working through those PM templates. But once you get a few developed, you'll notice really quickly there's a lot of tools in the system that help you being able to make one as a template, copy it as many times as you need, reassign it to other assets. There's a lot of ways to be really efficient with it. And then as far as the scheduling piece goes, being able to track, hey, how much time should this planned maintenance take? What is it really taking? And being able to map that out in Limble, we can show you that as well.
Awesome. Next question, is it possible to show wrench time and PMP? Can you walk us through that, Skylar?
So wrench time would be that log time, the task time that I was logging that we would create. And again, when I open up that planned maintenance, it's going to track that for me automatically. And then I can log my time. And I don't necessarily even have to complete the task to log time. And as many people that need to log time, let's say I have a task assigned to 4 people, all 4 people can log those time. So you should have wrench time for every one of their individuals. As far as the other piece of that, what would PMP? A little unfamiliar with that.
Yeah, if our question asker, if you want to pop that in the Q&A, we'll circle back to that, would be great. But thank you. That's awesome, Skylar. We'll circle back to that when I get the other half of that question, because we've got lots more questions. Next question. Do you have an asset checklist to help get started with gathering the data that you need to enter into the system? So in other words, when you're setting up the assets, what can Limble provide in terms of the structure of the framework that we use to enter those? Absolutely.
So it is very customizable, but one great thing on the bulk upload, we actually have a sample file for the upload, and it's in a CSV format that even will give you a sample asset on it. So it'll have you, asset name, make, model, and a few other key components. And as you're being guided through that, it will really set the framing around. So it makes it very straightforward. But as far as the asset information, it would be really understanding what's important for you, right? And really whatever is important for you, we can customize and help you in that initial upload. But yeah, there is a structure and a framing around, especially when we first initially import your assets. You'll see that if you ever on a trial with Limble or have ever taken a demonstration from us in length.
Awesome. Moving right along. Next question. For machines with PMs that need to be measured based on runtime, is there any integration tool which can be incorporated for the machine into Limble?
Absolutely. So that's pretty common, right? On that next level maintenance, we want to get into predictive maintenance and really automate our processes. So sensor data, as long as it's plugging into a gateway that has an open RESTful API, meaning it communicates one software information with another, we can definitely integrate with. We have an open RESTful API ourselves, and we even have a pre-built API communication with Monet sensors. Not saying that, that just seems to be a really widely used sensor type. There's other sensors on the market that work perfectly fine as well. But the advantage there is obviously it's a pre-built plug-and-play system.
Awesome. You guys are asking great questions. Keep them coming. I've got another one here. When it comes to approvals, who approves the tasks, closes the task, technician, production supervisor? How do you set that all up?
Perfect. So I guess that would just depend on your desired workflow, right? Because again, part of those instruction sets, I can say, hey, it starts out at the technician, but instead of the technician completing it, it can be reassigned to the manager or a quality team to look over, and they can be the ones that actually close it out. Or maybe I'm in a scenario where I have a scheduler, right? It doesn't necessarily go directly to the technicians, it goes to the scheduler, and they essentially quarterback that task out as well. So again, it really depends on your desired outcome and what you need, but we can really accommodate both ways, whether you have, that task passed through 3 different individuals before it's closed out, we can do that, or the one that traditionally starts the task can close it, right?
Awesome. Next question. When it comes to implementation, is a plant visit required or available as an option to help get going?
I love that question. So in my experiences with implementation, we do on sites if necessary. I would say 95% of our implementations are done via like this, just like on a Zoom call. We meet once or twice a week. We can help you, formulate the data. Our implementation has over a 90% success rate done that way, which is far above and beyond. If you look, as an industry standard, I'm sure a lot of you out there on this call right now are doing your homework on CMMSs. You'll find that we are at the top of the charts on most of that category. So is it something that is required? No. Can we? Yes. It's done less traditionally though, because we have just a great success rate doing it the way we've been doing it remotely.
Awesome. Next question. If I close a task, can someone else reopen it and complete it again?
Absolutely. So that is going to be based off permissions. So you can set roles and permissions within Limble, right? Where a technician traditionally isn't going to be the ones coming in there, reopening tasks, messing with it. But let's say usually a manager can go in there. Maybe it's, again, that situation where quality gets it, it's closed out and they go, well, this wasn't quite done, right? So we can relaunch it, make a note to it, and then the technician can recomplete it.
Awesome. I've got a couple more here, so we'll keep going. Are there any pre-made templates for known equipment, compliance items, boilers, smoke detectors, emergency lighting, elevator, things like that?
Right. So we don't have pre-made templates, but again, with the customer success managers, they're going to be able to walk you through a lot of best practices for those, what we've seen in the past, right? And a lot of them are going to go off the recommended manufacturer, right? So you can look that up on basically everything. And then when it comes to actually putting that in your implementation in your PMs, we can help guide that further as well.
Awesome. Great. I'm going to ask one question that might be a little bit longer to answer here, but would love to hear you talk about how Limble compares to SAP.
Right.
And what you can speak to that.
So think of SAP kind of as an enterprise management system where SAP has a bunch of separate cogs too, right? Where it's got like maybe a finance piece, maybe an inventory management piece, maybe even a CMMS piece. We would be part of those cogs essentially, but we do have overlapping functions, right? Like SAP has a planned maintenance piece within it. There are plenty of customers that use SAP that use the planned maintenance on our end because it's so much easier to use. Reporting, right? SAP has reporting. We also have reporting. So there's going to be some overlap, but essentially, I would say SAP is generally a collection of systems. We do integrate directly with SAP. So a lot of people that use SAP do lean on our system for the ease of use and for the maintenance and facilities side. And sometimes they'll use SAP for like the finance side if that's really integrated within their company already.
Awesome. Great. Is it possible to track MTBF counting months or days instead of hours? So you can change the unit.
Yes, yeah, you can do the mean time between failure. Again, on the custom dashboard, it's going to allow you to show the time frame that you need to. So you can put a custom time range in there and it'll show you that.
Awesome. I'm going to do one more question since we're running up on time here. Does Limble offer an audit where a Limble employee comes on and looks at the facility as far as how well to check and see how well we're using tools, functions of the software, et cetera?
Yeah, Jay, I love that question. That is actually internally how we operate as a company, believe it or not. So the customer success managers that are going to guide you through implementation after implementation are still your go-to point of contact for the entire life of your account with us. Now, I really like what we do here because we're not so much a checkbox company when it comes to implementation. It's not the situation where we're like, hey, we showed you assets once, boom, that's off the box. We never have to talk to you about it again. We've done our job. They're actually graded and guided on how well you use our software. Are your technicians logging time? Is there things that we can do better to help you get the most out of the software? Our business model is absolutely designed for a long-term partnership. It doesn't do us or you any good if you have to go looking for a software next year because you're not getting the most out of it.
Awesome. We've got a couple more questions here that I'm not going to be able to get to because we're up on time, but considering that, let me share my screen again. Folks, if you have more questions, please do reach out to us and let's set up a time with a product specialist to talk more about how we can put some of the things that we talked about today in place for you. If you go to limblecmms.com/demo request, we can get you into a meeting with a product specialist one-on-one to talk about your unique case and all of that and answer some more of your questions. In addition to that, again, as you have questions, send us an email. You can email, just reply directly to the emails that we get. People are looking at those and we'll get you the answers that you're looking for. Any final words, Skylar, before we hop off?
No, I think, yeah, it's great to spend some time with you guys, and we look forward to hopefully talking to you in the future. And, you know, if you sign up for a demo, there is a chance too, you'll see me again. So
for sure. Yep. Awesome. Thanks, everybody. Have a great Thursday.
take care.